A leaked internal memo has exposed a sweeping effort by the Trump administration to cripple the Social Security Administration, SSA, from within. First reported by Popular Information on March 17, 2025, in an article by Judd Legum. The memo, authored by Acting Deputy SSA Commissioner Doris Diaz, outlines changes that would drastically impede access to Social Security benefits under the guise of preventing fraud. The plan hinges on a new internet identity proofing requirement for claims made over the phone, forcing many elderly and disabled Americans who disproportionately rely on phone services to travel to SSA offices in person. This shift, coupled with a massive reduction in SSA staff and office closures, would overwhelm the system, making it functionally impossible for many to receive their rightful benefits. At its core, this is not a policy to reduce fraud. As Popular Information notes, Social Security fraud accounts for less than 1% of benefits paid, with most improper payments resulting from administrative errors rather than criminal deception. Instead, the memo appears designed to create insurmountable bureaucratic hurdles, systematically obstructing claimants in a way that disproportionately harms society's most vulnerable. The SSA estimates that the new policy would drive an additional 85,000 in-person visits per week, a 14% increase on an already strained system. But while demand for services is set to skyrocket, resources are being gutted. Acting SSA Commissioner Leland has announced plans to cut 7,000 jobs, 12% of the agency's workforce, while shutting down dozens of offices, many of which are in rural areas where alternative options are scarce. The result? A manufactured bottleneck that ensures long wait times, widespread confusion, and mass disenfranchisement of those who rely on these benefits the most. This strategy is chillingly familiar. Across the world, authoritarian-leaning leaders have learned that dismantling social programs doesn't require outright abolition. Simply making them unusable achieves the same result with less political backlash. Viktor Orban's Hungary has used bureaucratic hurdles to weaken judicial independence. Vladimir Putin's Russia has buried opposition voices under layers of regulatory red tape. Trump, in typical fashion, is applying this playbook to Social Security. His administration can claim that they haven't cut benefits while, in practice, preventing tens of thousands of Americans from accessing them. It is a deliberate strategy of state-sponsored obstructionism designed to discredit the program's effectiveness and pave the way for deeper rollbacks. The consequences of this policy will be immediate and devastating. Elderly Americans without internet access will face impossible choices: travel hundreds of miles to the nearest SSA office, endure months-long appointment delays, or simply give up. The disabled, many of whom already struggle with mobility, will find themselves caught in a bureaucratic trap designed to force them out of the system. Even those who comply with the new verification process will face overwhelming delays as underfunded offices buckle under the weight of intentional administrative sabotage. The Diaz memo itself acknowledges these looming failures, predicting service disruption, budget shortfalls, and potential legal challenges. These aren't unintended side effects, they are the goal. This is Trumpism in its purest form, dismantling the government not through legislation, but through calculated dysfunction. The question now is whether Congress, the courts, and the media will rise to the occasion and expose this fraud for what it is: an assault on America's social safety net disguised as reform. Please subscribe to the Intellectualist's new YouTube channel, where we present insightful videos analyzing the current events shaping the world. Turn on notifications to receive the latest updates from the channel.